So I found an online cash management system that is actually paying out 2.5% interest for your money to be sitting there. So I want to talk about that because right now we are living in a world where interest rates unfortunately are constantly dropping for even online banks. Because I remember a time just recently where I was talking about interest rates getting close to 2.5%, but most of them have dropped as low as like 1.82% and even further down as like 1.6%. And these are companies that I've recently talked about in videos here on this channel, where I was sharing with you guys some of the great online companies that are helping you at least keeping up with inflation for your money by having this money sitting in an account. Now, of course, having your money sitting in an online account is only good if it is for like an emergency fund or short-term savings. Anything that's past a couple of years, you want to really look into other options. But I wanted to share this finding with you guys because yeah, 2.5% is not very common. I don't know how long it's going to last as far as this interest rate, but I wanted to share this with you guys because I think it's really important to be able to find ways to make your money work harder for you instead of just sitting that around and doing nothing and actually losing purchasing power over time. Now, in case you're new to this channel, my name is Dennis, and we love talking about ways to make money, save money, and invest money for your financial future. So let's go ahead and talk about this company that has a cash management system and earning you 2.5% interest for your money. Now, of course, there are some caveats to this, as always with any kind of account. So we're going to go into some of those details as well. So this company is actually called Public. Now, if you've never heard about them before, don't worry, most people probably haven't. They're actually a very similar company to Robinhood, if you've heard of them, where you can actually buy and sell stocks on the stock market, which is a really cool thing, but that's not what we're going to be focusing on here today. We're going to focus on their interest rate that they're giving you to be able to house your money on this account. Now, what we're going to actually do is load up the app here so you guys can actually see me looking at the app in real time as we go over some of these different things. Now, first and foremost, I started testing out the app, of course, before making this video and not just talking about it. So I put in a little bit of money. As you can see, I have $10 in this portfolio. I haven't tested out the investing portion just yet, but I do plan on doing that here in the very near future, as they do have some great features such as fractional shares. So we'll definitely get into that in a future episode. But we're talking about this high interest savings. So if we actually go over here, you can see I have $10 and a penny, as I mentioned, and we have nothing currently invested. So all of it is sitting in the cash earning account. So I actually deposited 10 bucks. I earned a penny recently because of the actual interest. And so as you can see here, it says uninvested cash in your account is automatically gathering interest. So the first and foremost important thing that you can see here is that the limit to actually earn money on this 2.5% is the fact that you can only have up to $10,000 in the account earning that interest. Anything above that, you're not going to have any interest that is gathering on the rest of that money. So there's of course some pros and cons on that. Pro is that most people are probably not going to have that much money sitting in their account for an emergency or just regular savings. So that's more than enough to be able to earn 2.5%. And of course, if you have more than 10,000, if you wanted to put just that first 10,000 in here and keep the rest at your other bank, you can still do that as well. Now, that 2.5% is, of course, compounded daily and then paid out on a monthly basis. So the sooner that you put your money in, the faster you're going to start earning that interest. Now, of course, one of the big things that might come up, and I did do the research for this, was, is it insured? Now, if we actually click on learn more. Now, before we continue on, if you are getting some value out of this content so far, do me a solid and hit that like button down below. Helps the YouTube algorithms and helps out this channel as well. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get back into the rest of the video. It takes us to this portion of their website, which I'm going to actually click on interest terms and conditions. This is where you can find this information. So I'm going to zoom in here. Now, it's not technically FDIC insured, which at first I was like, oh man, that's not a good thing. I need to have that. But it actually does have the SIPC coverage, which in case you don't know, it's fairly similar to the FDIC. But this one right here typically focuses and protects people for their stocks and their bonds. But as you can see here, I'm going to read this out loud. It says, SIPC protection against the loss of cash and securities such as stocks and bonds held by the customer at a financially troubled SIPC member brokerage firm. The limit of the SIPC protection is $500,000, which includes a $250,000 limit for cash. Most customers of failed brokerage firms are protected when assets are missing from customers' accounts. So yes, it's not going to be FDIC insured, but it is that SIPC insurance, which essentially will cover you for that $10,000 if you had up to that limit. Of course, you can even go higher, up to $250,000 sitting in the account as purchasing power if you really wanted to. But in this regard, we're talking about just, at least earning interest on the money that's sitting in this account. And so yeah, it is going to be protected. So as I mentioned earlier, Public is a little bit newer. Most people haven't heard of them before. They actually went by a different name a little while ago, but as of right now, they have a 4.5 rating when it comes to the App Store. So they have some really good, reputation when it comes to people utilizing their app. I'm gonna put some more money into this because, like I mentioned, I started with 10 just to test it out, and I do intend to actually go ahead and start putting more money when it comes from my emergency fund, so I can earn more than the 1.6% I'm earning on my current savings account. Because I'd rather earn 2.5% rather than 1.6%, because that is a pretty significant difference. If it was, maybe like 0.25%, I wouldn't have done it, but almost a 1% difference. I'd rather start earning more money on that money that's just sitting there for emergencies. So as I mentioned, this is an investing app as well as that cash management portion of it as well. So as far as having that money go into the cash management part, it is literally just transferring your money over and just leaving it in the account without actually buying any stocks. So it will automatically pull that money into the cash management and start earning you interest the second it goes into the account. So you don't have to worry about doing any additional transfers. Once it goes into this public account, it just automatically has everything starting to invest for you when it comes to earning that interest. So that way you can start accumulating some extra money and having your money work for you. Now, the other caveat when it comes to transferring money in and out of this app is that it does take a couple of days, and they don't have Zelle or they don't have any type of instant transfer feature, at least not as of yet. So if you are in desperate need of that money, it might be a little difficult to get a hold of right away. But for me personally, I'm okay with waiting those couple of days, especially because I'm earning quite a bit more money that's just sitting in that account. Now, if you actually want to get started with Public, I'm going to go ahead and put a link in the show notes down below for you. If you want to go ahead and get started, that of course helps me out, but it also does help you out to start earning interest on your money that is just sitting in an online account. Now, if you want to see some other options when it comes to high yield interest savings accounts online, click this video right over here where I actually go over some other great banks that are available for you online. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.